All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on the world of psychotherapy with a look at Irvin Yalom's novel, Lying on the Couch. Now, this isn't just a story. It's really a deep dive into the therapist's mind and the messy human side of healing.
It's a pretty provocative question, isn't it? I mean, we tend to think of our therapists as these objective, steady guides, somehow above the chaos of everyday life. But this novel just comes right out and asks, what happens when the person helping you sort out your own mess is dealing with their own? So at its very heart, this book is all about exploring the therapist's own humanity, flaws and all, and how that completely changes the healing journey for everyone in the room. Okay, so we follow this character, Dr. Jeffrey Marks, and he's not just some passive observer jotting down notes. No way. As he's helping his clients navigate their struggles, he's forced to look in the mirror and face his own. His professional and personal worlds start to collide, and that's where things get really interesting. This is where the book really dismantles that myth of the flawless, all-knowing therapist. It gives us a much more realistic and honestly more compelling picture of a healer who is just as human and vulnerable as the people they're trying to help. And that leads us to a really radical idea about the therapeutic relationship itself. It suggests it's not some one-way street where wisdom just flows from the expert to the patient. It's way, way more dynamic than that. We all kind of hold on to this image of the therapist as this objective, flawless machine, right? But the novel challenges that by showing us a more complex reality, a therapist who is human, who has their own biases, and who is deeply involved in the client's growth. And that contrast, right there, is the beating heart of the whole story. Yalom gives us this powerful concept he calls mutual transformation. And what that means is that therapy isn't just about the client changing. The therapist is also being changed by the encounter. It's this living, breathing process where both people are actually pushing each other to learn and grow. So what are some of the universal truths that this novel really digs into? Let's take a look at how they can actually deepen our own understanding of what it means to be human. Well, for starters, the book makes a huge case for emotional honesty, facing those uncomfortable truths, as the real engine for change. It also reminds us that our fears and our pain aren't unique. They're part of a shared human experience. And it dives headfirst into the tricky ethical tightrope that therapists have to walk, exploring all those messy gray areas, like finding that delicate balance between genuine human connection and professional boundaries. This quote really just says it all. The book argues that we don't really grow when things are easy. Real, lasting change happens when we face the difficult parts of ourselves, when we have that honest and, often uncomfortable confrontation with who we are. Now, you might be thinking, a novel from a few decades ago, how relevant can it be? But let me tell you, its themes have never been more important than they are right now. Just think about our world for a second. We're surrounded by digital burnout, constant pressure, and just this widespread emotional fatigue. We're all trying to figure out our boundaries and find authentic connection. This book speaks directly to that struggle. And here's the key takeaway for our time. In an era where everything can feel so transactional, lying on the couch is this powerful reminder that real healing doesn't come from a checklist of techniques. It happens in a relationship. It's built on empathy, honesty, and just genuine human presence. So what are the big lessons here? If we boil it down, it's three things. First, embrace emotional honesty in your own life. Second, get intentional about navigating your boundaries. And third, maybe most importantly, seek out that real human connection. That's where the growth really begins. So as we wrap this up, let's just step back and consider what the ultimate goal of this whole journey really is. This is the big question the novel leaves us with. It challenges this idea that therapy is about reaching some state of perfection, of being cured. Instead, it suggests that maybe the real journey is about embracing our full humanity, our flaws, our complexities, all of it. It's about becoming more whole, not less broken. And in the end, that's the powerful, simple truth at the center of lying on the couch. It's not a procedure. It's not a quick fix. It's a relationship. And it's inside that honest, human connection that the real potential for transformation exists, for everyone involved.